Hello and welcome to Today in the News on Vanguard Live. I am Precious Chukudi. We begin with the front pages of the papers this morning. Starting off with Vanguard is leading with petrol crisis. Federal government resolves NNPCL marketers' dispute as NNPCL refunds 15 billion naira to marketers after DSS intervention. Marketers, Dangote refinery set for negotiation. Delay to impact the domestic market. Many outlets still short. Expert calls for instant resolution of pricing. Others, consumers should shift to alternatives, and that's coming from 11PCL. I can see a photo story showing at a Methodist Church of 48th anniversary. Price of bread rising faster than inflation rate. The writer says it will continue if, and that's coming from bakers. Flour millers give reasons for high prices. Production cost rises 45% to 2.2 trillion naira. Revenue rises faster at 47.5% to 2.5 trillion naira. DSS releases 2 #End Bad Governance protesters in Kaduna, 125 still in detention. National Assembly considering raising VAT to 10% by 2025, and that's come from a document. VC appointment sparks row in Uni Abuja. Stories above. Edo government writes Okpebholo APC on formation of transition team. Olu of Wari urges Africans to break free from mental limitation. We take a look at the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian is leading with uncertainty over minimum wage execution as state governors falter. A PDP crisis deepens. Mohammed takes a charge, demands swift action. Vacation, return home, citizens confused about your policies, and that's coming from CSO to Tinubu. IMF slashes borrowing costs by 36%, lower countries' exposure by $1.2 billion yearly. Importers decry 25 million naira clearance for 40-feet container. A reverse petrol price pending court verdict, Serap tells Tinubu. We'll take a look at the Nation newspaper. The Nation is leading with PDP crisis. Factional chairman defies court order, resumes. The writer says, I have started preparation for October 24th NEC meeting. Party is gone, says Fayoshe. 34 fighter jets are coming to join terrorism battle. Arrives beginning Q1 next year. Government to boost NAF operation capacity, says Matawali. Stories above. Recapitalization. 5 banks bid for 1 trillion naira capital raising. Sanwo-Olu is first passenger as a red rail line rolls off. We are seeing massive demand investment in CNG. NDLEA intercepted 22.7 billion naira drugs in Lagos Rivers. Ayeda Tiwa's 73,000 naira minimum wage deceptive carrot, says PDP. We take a look at the Punch newspaper. The Punch is leading with import duty. Federal government may ground 60 private jets today. Writer says top bank chairman, business moguls affected. Nama gets list of affected planes. Federal government Italy finalized talks on 34 new fighter jets. NDLEA nabs Thailand returning with 3 billion naira drugs. Cooking gas price jumps to 1,500 naira per kilogram. Obaseki Okpebholo's transition panel discuss handover today. Benin Togo owes Nigeria $5.7 million electricity debt, and that's coming from NEC. God never planned suffering for Nigerians, and that's coming from Obasanjo. Dangote meets marketers Tuesday over new petrol price. PDP crisis, Damagum camp, anti-Wike governors may clash today. And that's how we can take on the front pages of the papers. Join us after the break. We'll be right back. Alright, welcome back. If you're just joining me still today in the news on Vanguard Live, I am Precious Chukudi. Joining me to talk about some of the stories on the front page of the papers this morning is Mr. Ali Mohammed, CEO of Magnet Communications, also former editor of Daily Times and Concord Newspapers. Good to have you join me this morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Coping?
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's like you wake up every day and there's a new policy, there's a new price in petrol, and you're not even sure. Cooking like.
It is funny.
I don't know what's happening. Are they after our lives in this country?
Honestly, I don't know.
All right, let's talk about petrol, obviously. Now, the federal government has resolved the disagreement between NNPCL and independent marketers over a 15 billion naira claim by the latter, which has resulted in petrol supply gap, and this has now given rise to a seamless supply of the products to marketers by Dangote refinery. What's your take?
Anyway, whatever it is that they have resolved, we cannot feel the impact until people are able to drive into petrol stations and buy fuels easily. I don't know why a government will allow or encourage the scarcity of a major product that is important to the lives of its citizens. Whatever it is, they should resolve it and let there be fuel. Yes, fuel is now over 1,000, 1,200 in some petrol stations, 1,003 outside Lagos, 1,005 in far places like Borno and other parts of Nigeria. It is unfortunate that we are at this stage in Nigeria. We are at the stage of a very bad stage where people can no longer ride their cars. On my way here this morning, there was no traffic. You could hardly see cars on the road. I started asking questions. You see, the truth of the matter is that when things get to this situation, governments must act very quickly. I know what I'm saying. I am over 60. I have seen so many things happening in Nigeria when we have situations like this. I pray those things that happened in the past will not happen now. Because when people are suffering, when the masses can't feed, then the government itself is in trouble. But the earlier we take appropriate steps to resolve the issues of hunger, starvation, people just dropping dead, just like that, not that they were sick, the better for us as a nation. We have so much money in the hands of people who shouldn't have this money. In billions, they have it in billions. And those who are working so very hard are suffering in silence. They don't have access to funds to even live their lives. It is a sad development. Government must do something. And let me comment on the statement of the First Lady in Ile-Ife. That's my husband is not the cause of the suffering in Nigeria. Who is the cause? Who removed subsidy from petroleum products? Who announced it? And at the end of the day, she donated 1 billion in Ile-Ife to a phony project. From which account did that 1 billion come from? Government or a personal account? People should mind how they talk to people who are already distressed. You know, that comment from the First Lady is unfortunate, to say the least. And I think somebody somewhere should advise her to henceforth keep quiet if she doesn't have things to say.
All right, let's talk about the petrol increase, and yet there's no free flow of the product. How can the issue hindering the free flow of petrol be dealt with as soon as possible? Because you can't increase fuel and then people are still struggling to get fuel.
That's what I just said, Precious. You see, the problem started when Dangote started producing petrol, which is in high demand, even more than diesel. NNPC said, no, Dangote refinery, you must sell this through me before the people can buy. So when Dangote refinery sells petrol to NNPC, for instance, for 800 naira, NNPC will push it out at 900 plus. Are you helping the people? Are you helping Nigeria? In what way the petrol produced locally by Dangote, can anybody justify the high increase in it? I think they should leave Dangote alone, allow him to sell petrol at the rate at which this product is produced from Dangote refineries. There is no need having a middleman between Dangote refinery and the final consumers of petroleum products. I detest that. NNPC should allow, you have a stake in Dangote, whatever the percentage of the stake you have, Leave it. Let Dangote run and pay you some dividends on your stake. Not that you NNPC, a government organization, is now taking over the responsibility of the distribution of petroleum products for a price. There is this saying that government has no business in business. NNPC as an organization has failed woefully. NNPC have 4 refineries that it is managing. None of those refineries are working. And you are not giving attention to those refineries that are not working, but they are gulping billions of naira almost every year, paying workers that are doing nothing. And you now want to take over the products produced by another refinery and make gains from it. That to me is unacceptable. They should allow Dangote refinery to sell whatever it is. They say they are trying to prevent Dangote's monopoly. The only way to break monopoly is to give license and crude oil to other refineries that have been registered in this country. We have more than 10, 11 private refineries, modular refineries included, that have been registered. Feed them with crude oil. Let them all start producing. By the time we have 10 refineries producing, there will be competition. Dangote will not be a monopolist at that time. I don't know why people in government find it difficult to do certain things that will ease problems in our society. We have more than 12 private refineries that have been licensed by government. Why are they not taking off? Government should encourage and support those other refineries to take off if they truly want to break the monopoly of Dangote refineries over the production of petroleum products and diesel and the rest. That's my opinion on that. You don't sit down and say because you want to break Dangote's monopoly. The so-called monopoly that you want to break is not making the price of petrol, the final price of petrol, cheaper than what Dangote is selling. So they should allow Dangote to sell its fuel directly to petroleum distributors. There is no reason why NNPC or any government agency must sit down and tell Dangote that you must sell your final products, petrol, diesel and the rest, through us. The NNPC that you are sitting on, according to you, is not making profit. So how will you now make profit from where you did not sweat as an organization? Go and repair your refineries. Let NNPC go and repair Nigerian refineries and sell at whatever price they want to sell. They can even engage in competition with Dangote. If they can't refurbish the refineries, let them grant crude oil license, crude oil allocation to these refineries so that they can all start producing. By the grace of God, if they do that, the problem of petroleum products in Nigeria would have been resolved.
All right. There are questions on timing and, federal government being insensitive to, the sufferings of Nigerians. Also, the fact that, the current increase would, erode Nigerians' purchasing power. I would like you to speak to that. Also, other countries create subsidies for their citizens. Our own is just audio. We just keep hearing it on, on TV and screens, nothing else again.
We had subsidy. But whatever happens in Nigeria is fraught with a lot of fraudulent practices. Yes, subsidy, you see government officials benefiting from subsidies. People who didn't lift a finger are benefiting from subsidies. Do you know that Okpebholo, the man that was asked to investigate some fraudulent practices in the last government, I don't know if you listened to his TV interview, Professor Okpebholo. He said he recovered so much money from people who stole them that some people somewhere got back to him and instructed him to release those funds. And you say you are fighting corruption in this environment. It is not possible. Some other countries give subsidy, but the way they administer this subsidy on the things they want to subsidize is a lot better than what is happening in Nigeria. You ask company ABC to import petrol, they will import 10,000 cubic meters. They will say no, it is 20,000 cubic, so that they will earn from that subsidy regime times 2 of what they have imported. And government officials know about all this. And we keep saying that the amount spent on subsidy is so high to a point that the country is losing a lot of money. That is what brought us to where we are today. Fraudulent practices by government officials. Some government officials are even richer than government. They have billions in dollars. The money with which they run the state government, they have it in their bank accounts. In an environment where people are so poor, some people cannot even eat once, not to talk of having 3 square meals a day. Somebody have money in dollars. What kind of environment are we? What kind of government are we running? I don't know how they feel each time they drive past communities and see the children of the poor naked. They can't eat. They are running all over the place looking for food. How do they feel? Are they truly human beings? I doubt if they are. We must come from our high horse, come down from our high horse and look at the suffering of the people. People are suffering. People can't send their children to school. People can't pay school fees. Some people can't even eat. It is when you eat that you sit down and start talking about, okay, you will go to school. You have not even eaten. You are talking about school. And there are so many people whose children are at home today. They can't go back since the school resumed in September. What kind of government are we running if people are not benefiting from it? It is unfortunate that we are where